Hey everyone, it's Carol from Carol's Creative Corner, and welcome to Carol's Creative Community. I am so glad to have you move over to this particular Facebook group because that's where I'll be doing a lot of my Facebook Lives, and you get notified if you're in a group that I'm live, whereas on my business page you're not. So I've decided to create this group, and hopefully in this group we can do a lot more sharing as well. And so I'm encouraging you to do that. And so I want to do my first Facebook Live today, and I wanted to. I'm going to start it with something very simple, and that is actually creating a background with your stamps. So, with that, I guess we will go ahead and get started. And you're gonna. I'm not real good at this yet, but I'm going to flip the phone, put the phone in its holder, and then so you can see what I'm actually stamping. So, bear with me while I go ahead and flip the camera. Okay, again. How is that going? Hey, Ashley, how you doing? So glad you could just join me on this impromptu Facebook Live. Thanks for joining. All right, so I am going to use a set that I absolutely fell in love with, and it's called Positive Thoughts. And what attracted me to this set initially was this one particular saying, sending positive thoughts and feel good wishes. And if that isn't appropriate for these days and times, challenging times that we're going through. So I really needed this saying. But once I started playing with the set, I ended up falling in love with these other stamped images. This beautiful branch, the butterfly, the flower. I've seen the feather on some cards, and hugs, prayers, and loves. What more could we send to our loved ones, right? So I love this set, and so I'm going to show you today how to create background paper for your cards using a stamp set. And I'm going to use this particular set. So, oh, and I should mention that this particular set is in our mini catalog, and this catalog is actually expiring in June. June 2nd, June 3rd, the new catalog comes out. So it must be June 2nd that this goes through. And so this set is only available through then. So, and we are going to be coming out with our on April 22nd, we're coming out with our retired list. And so I'll be watching to see if this one is going to carry over, because I secretly hope that it will be. But also, stay tuned if you're interested in what's going to be retiring. Again, that comes out on April 22nd. So, all right. So, before we get started on the background, I just wanted to show you one more card. This card we used in my last class where we learned this blending technique, where we added color to cardstocks using a blender brush, like a foundation brush, and dipping it in your ink. And so we did use some of the images from this set, the flowers and these pieces, and I'm going to be setting this one as a Mother's Day card. So, and this one comes from the tulip set, terrific tulips, timeless tulips. So, so let's get started. I'm going to start out with a blank 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. And I'm going to show you a technique that I learned early on in my stamping world, which was very at the beginning, probably 30 years ago. And it's still a very simple, easy technique if you're just working with stamps and ink. So I'm going to use this color Pear Pizzazz to stamp this leaf. And the way I do it, I start with the biggest image that I'm going to be using. And right now that's the leaf, because we're going to use the flower and then the butterfly, which are smaller. So my recommendation is start with your biggest image first, and then randomly stamp that on your paper. And we're going to repeat that several times, but what I recommend is that you do it in sort of a triangle formation. So you know, what are your corners of your triangle? So let's try it this way. 1, 2, and I'm going to do 3 right here. So there's my triangle of leaves. It doesn't look that way because this one's a pretty big one, but that's my idea. So I'm going to count. I'll just keep counting. 1, 2, and 3. This would be a good place for another leaf. And 1, 2, and 3. And what this is going to do is when you add your other elements, 1, 2, and 3, it's going to create, oh, look what I did. It's going to create a very random pattern on your paper that's evenly spaced, including the colors. Once I add in the other colors, it'll be evenly spaced and yet look very random. So let's see here. We got 1, 2, and let's do 3 here. And feel free to stamp off the paper when you get near the edges, because that will continue to help with the randomness. 1, 2, and 3, we'll just stamp on the edge there. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. So now we're going to work on this end. You know I'm going to cover up this spot that I had on my fingers from the other ink pad. I'm going to be covering that up with a butterfly, so I'm not too worried about that right now. 1, 2, 3. And I'll just do 1, 2, and 3. So that looks fairly random. And then we're going to do the same with the next biggest image, which is our flower. And for that, I'm going to use the color, our color called Flirty Flamingo. So let me start stamping. And it's okay to overlap the images. That's perfectly fine. 1, 2, and 3. 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 And so I am trying to fill in, right, some of those white spaces in an even formation. So I am kind of picking my triangle based on the white space. So, 1, 2. So it's so easy to create, and I love these colors together. I hope you do too. And what I wanted to mention is I cannot see your comments right now. I will have to see them and respond to them when I'm done. So I so apologize. I want to make this interactive, but I don't yet know how to do that. And I wanted to get on and share this with you, but I will learn very shortly so that I can interact with you. Okay, so that looks pretty good for filling in with the flowers. So our last color will be for the butterfly, and this color is called Coastal Cabana, and we're going to fill that in. And you know I want to get this spot right here with the butterfly. See how you don't even notice that smudge I made? How clever, right? And we'll do that smudge too. So 1, 2, and 3, and we'll get started with filling in all our butterflies. Let's see, 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. And of course, you can stamp additional if you want. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. So I think that when you're done, if you feel like you want to add in more color here or there, that's going to work as well. It doesn't always have to be the triangle formation, but it helps. And notice I am going ahead and overlapping the images. I think that makes it more interesting as well. So I need one here. 1, 2, and 3, so I can fill that one in. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. All right, I think we have this paper pretty well filled in. What do you think? Pretty cool? So now you've got a whole sheet of 8.5 by 11 that you can put on your cards. So I wanted to show you an example of a card, and I used a die from our painted labels set that comes with the poppies and layered that on black circle. I used a ribbon. This was originally a white ribbon, and I colored it with our Bermuda Bay blends to have it coordinate with the card, and then just added some pearls. And then you can open up the card, you can add your designer series paper that you just created, your very own creation, inside the card. So that is so easy, and it's a technique that I still carry with me in my toolkit, and I absolutely love these colors together, and I hope you do too. So based on that, because this is a new community, I wanted to put out a challenge to you to do a 8.5 by 11 sheet of your own background and create a card and share it. And by the 30th of April. So that gives everybody about 2 weeks to go ahead and make their own creation and share it with the group. I would really enjoy seeing what you come up with. And for I then will on April, at the end of April 30th, so I guess it'll be May 1st, I will do a drawing, and a random drawing, whoever wins will get a pack of these new gilded gems that are part of our ornate garden suite. I will send that in the mail along with this card. So I hope you're up for the challenge. I'm really looking forward to having you share on this community and hear from you. So that would be great if you could participate. Also, if you're interested in buying the Positive Thoughts stamp set, here's the host code to use: Z, B as in boy, E, Z, 4, GPS. And if you place an order with me with that host code, that I will then be sending you the materials to make 3 of these cards. Hopefully, if you're buying this stamp set, you would be able to recreate this card with the materials. So that's what I had to share with you. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will go back and look at all your comments, and I really hope that you all stay well and safe, and I plan to do more Facebook Lives on this group. So thanks for your patience on my first one, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks, and have a great evening.